Greetings to everyone. How are you? How is the audio? Can you hear me all right? If you have any questions, please submit them in the commentary box, and I will answer them as we go along. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. อุเบกขาโกบุญชวน Good morning อาจารย์ Sally She Sadhu 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 Bodhihin Sadhu Lin Min Namo Buddhaya อาจารย์ Bodhihin Meal on meditation good sound okay thank you สามเณรช่างเหล็กกราบหลวงพ่อขอรับสาธุ All apprentice yes yes can hear หลวงพ่อ clearly Meal on meditation good sound ค่ะ Suresh Swadi สาธุสาธุจุนสิริวรนเทพปรึกษา sound is okay ค่ะ From Czech Link Can Good morning ท่านอาจารย์ sound is good can hear you clearly thank you how are you Czech From Sattha Rachel Good morning อาจารย์ Thank you for the sharing of Dhamma with us Please take care of your health Thank you Question from assistant.ajarnsuchat@gmail.com From Deborah Jonas Hello Ajahn from Toronto I look at a small forest to buy for meditation I found out that it did not include the mineral rights which mean that someone could come and drill for the minerals in the rock etc. I'm not sure if it is appropriate because the people drilling could come and disturb my meditation. Do you agree? Yes. It was a beautiful and serene spot otherwise. You can always look for another spot somewhere else where they would pose no future problem. It's better to be safe, to be confident that your land will not be disturbed by other people. Because if someone come in and do some drilling or something, then your peace will be compromised. From Bodhihin from India. Thank you. Anuma Kelbua Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. AVSTHA. Namaste Ajahn. Meditation on Asubha help with sex desire for the opposite sex. Does it work for self-gratification too? Thank you. Well, in Asubha contemplation will stop all sexual desire, whether for other people or for oneself. You have to look at Asubha both in your own body and other people's body as well, if you want to get rid of your sexual desire.ไม่มีอะไรที่เป็นไปไม่ได้สาธุ Joyce Uy Sadhu 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 From Czech Link 10 I am doing well, John. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday. But hopefully someday soon it will be my birthday. That's right. The day not to be reborn again. It's your best day. The day that you know that you will no longer take birth. Like the Buddha when he became enlightened, birth is no more for me. Birth is completely uh, come to a stop. No more rebirth or happy day or happy death day, where I can be at peace with getting old, getting sick, and dying. So you have to hurry, do more meditation practice, starting with mindfulness, then samadhi, then panya or wisdom. These are the three practices that you need to keep doing as much as possible. If you want to reach a point where you will no longer take rebirth. From Lina Gunawan, Namo Buddhaya Ajahn. From Helen Lim, Ajahn, okay, can hear clearly. Thank you. Another question from assistant.ajahn@gmail.com from Amita, Malaysia. Question number 1. While meditating, I was aware that I was dozing off, but the mind experienced mental jerk, and then it dropped into calmness, where I feel that there is no time limit, no body pain and numbness. Was this still considered as in a drowsy state? If yes, how do I overcome it? If you are fully aware that your mind has dropped into calm, then I think this is okay. The key point here is your awareness. If you feel that you are fully awake and you know that your mind is peaceful and calm, then it is okay. Maybe it's just a breaking point. You were just about to go to sleep, then suddenly your mind became calm, and then you became fully awakened, fully aware. Then there's nothing to do but just to focus, just to stay in that state for as long as possible. But if you're not sure, if you think you have gone to sleep, then maybe you should get up and do walking meditation instead. Or if you want to sit, you can start reciting the mantra again, do some chanting again. From Kunking Ratanawong, Sadhu, Sadhu. From Chompo MTR, Sadhu. From Shirley, Namaste Ajahn. From Medan, Indonesia. How are you? From Paul Lim Soon, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. From Czech Lincoln, thank you for your valuable advice, Ajahn. We spent today keeping the 8 precepts and doing meditation. Very good. This is what you should spend your time on, rather than other things, except for some things that is really essential and necessary. Otherwise, meditation is the best thing for you. From Gek Yen So, to check which sister happy birthday. Have a peace and calm mind, full of mindfulness. Question number 2 from Amita, Malaysia. When I get into calm state, the mind was suddenly flying into other planets in the universe. Then the mind dropped into a state of fear when it discovered that it was unable to feel the body. I was then awakened from my sitting and in a state of shock, and became wary of sitting for long in meditation. Why such thing happened and how do I overcome it? It's your mental reaction to something new, something different. So you can be fearful. You can overcome this by reciting a mantra to stop your fear. And remind yourself that you're just watching a movie. What you see is like a movie. So it cannot hurt you in any way. So to calm your mind, to get rid of your fear, you might have to recite a mantra or chant the triple gem verse, Itipiso Bhagava, to bring your mindfulness back and remain aloof, being neutral and not reacting. From every STJ, Ajahn, my body moves by itself while meditating. To meditation music, stretching, swaying, and stillness happens too. Why is that? That's because you are not mindful enough. Your mindfulness is not strong enough to keep your mind still, your body still. You let your mind flow with the music. Then your mind then moves the body to move around. So this is not the right way of meditating for calm. You might get some peace, but you will never get complete or total peace and calm, total concentration from this method. You should switch back to watching your breath or reciting a mantra. Okay? It is not normal, not good. It is bad if you keep doing like this because you will not advance in your practice. From Jack Lincoln, thank you, Dharma friend and Sister Kek Yen So. Doi Ban Chang, Namaskaran Ajahn Suchat, with respect. May you be well and healthy. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu. From Sasana Putra, dear Ajahn, how to begin practice meditation for beginner? You first have to develop mindfulness. Keep reciting Bhutto Bhutto or chanting before you sit down and meditate. Try to develop as much mindfulness as possible. When you have enough mindfulness, you feel you can sit down and meditate, then you just sit down and close your eyes and see if you can watch your breathing, watch your breath at the tip of your nose. Just keep watching it come in and goes out. Don't have to do anything with the breath, just watch. If you cannot watch on your breath, then you might have to recite a mantra first. If you cannot recite a mantra, then you might have to do some chanting first. Until your mind becomes calmer and mindfulness stronger, then you might be able to focus on your breath. From Pauline Soon, how did scenario happen? I'm sorry, I cannot remember your question already, so you have to resubmit your question again and ask this question again. Xiao Shang, hi Ajahn. I'm not sure why my question can't reach Ajahn, which I sent twice. I wonder if it's not connected to Ajahn. Well, your question is now here, so go ahead and ask the question again, please, and I will answer your question right now. We live in an impermanent world, which is nothing is always fixed, nothing is always working. Sometimes things work and sometimes things don't work. So we just have to accept it and try to go around it somehow, like resubmitting your question again. Third question from Amita, Malaysia. When my mind went into calm state while I was sitting leisurely on the couch, an image, the heart function suddenly appeared. Part of the heart slowly disintegrated into dots in the air. I panicked and awoke from my sitting, feeling shocked and was perspiring. Why did I feel shocked when images appear, and how do I overcome it? Just like the previous question, you just have to stop your fear by reciting a mantra or doing chanting. And don't ask why, because this is how your mind reacts or how your mind sometimes works. If you want to know the answer, I would say it was your past karma that caused your mind to react in such a manner. So no need to wonder why. You should know what to do, that's all. When these things happen, just bring back mindfulness by reciting the mantra or do some chanting on the triple gem. From Nirosha to Czech, happy birthday to you, Czech. May all your wishes come true. Her wish is not to be reborn again. From Dhamma, Pande, which is better, Namka Samatha or Vipassana? You need both. You need long samatha to support your vipassana. Without samatha, you cannot have vipassana. So you need to first develop samatha. Make the samatha as long as possible, and then you can then use vipassana to get rid of your dukkha or your suffering by getting rid of your defilements. From AVSTHA, thank you, Ajahn. I use meditation music to block outside noises that could be distractive. So just focusing on breath is better without any meditation music, Ajahn. That's right. Don't use any external means to support your meditation. Use what you have within yourself, either a mantra, your breath, or some other method like reciting the 32 parts of the body, or do some chanting on the triple gem. From Eduardo Porca. Dear Ajahn, how can I prepare myself for a longer meditation? You have to develop more mindfulness. The more mindfulness, the more continuous your mindfulness is, then the longer will be your meditation. So try to develop mindfulness from the time you get up. As soon as you open up your eyes, you have to take charge of your mind. Don't let your thought take charge. You have to stop your thoughts by reciting a mantra or by focusing on your body. Watch what your body is doing. Then you will have strong mindfulness. And then when you meditate, you can sit for a long time. From Sujata Thai Lei Yuan. Namo Buddhaya Ajahn. Is it right to take coffee to control my sleepiness during meditation? No, because you will become attached to coffee. Then you need to have coffee before you can meditate. And when there is no coffee for you, then you cannot meditate. So this is not the right method of dealing with your sleepiness. If you feel sleepy, you should get up and do walking meditation. You might have to walk for many hours to get rid of your sleepiness. Second, you have to reduce your food consumption. Try to eat less. You won't die from eating less, I can guarantee you. Maybe it would be better for your body, because most of us are overweight anyway. So maybe you can try reducing it to about half and eat only before midday. Thirdly, if you can find a place that can causing fear, this can also prevent you from being sleepy. Go to a place where they can make you feel fearful, then you will not be sleepy. Joshua Light. Good afternoon, Ajahn. Why some people speak arrogantly when they start to understand the Dhamma? This is their ego. People think that they are smart, so they speak arrogantly, which is opposite to what the teaching is supposed to do for us. The more we know the Dhamma, the more we will become humble, because we will know that we still have a long way to go. By studying the Dhamma alone does not make us any greater. We will become greater only when we can practice meditation and get rid of our defilements. So if you truly study the Dhamma and truly understand the Dhamma, you will become more humble, not more arrogant. Because you know that there are still lots of things that you cannot do yet. There are lots of things that the Buddha and the noble disciple could do that you could not do. So this is what you should think when you study the Dhamma. From Dylan Alves, Sadhu Sadhu Bhante. In relation to your explanation on realm of existence, you mentioned 6 elements that never die. Do you mean to say that they are permanent? Yes, they are always there. They are neither created nor destroyed. Always there. From time immemorial. The 6 elements, the space element, the knowing element, the earth element, the water element, the fire element, and the wind element. But they can combine and form things like the universe. See, the universe, the physical universe are composed of the 5 elements, minus the knowing element. The knowing element is in a spiritual realm of existence, and it connects with the body, the 4 elements, to create people, human beings, and animals. From Trendy Wool. Dear Ajahn, what does one do when we feel our muscle all tense up? Just focus on mindfulness. Just focus on your breath, on a mantra, and forget about the muscles. Eventually it will relax, because part of the tension probably being created by your mind when your mind is stressful or reacting to something. So you want to stop your mind from reacting, to bring your mind to equanimity. And then when you leave the body alone, then the muscle will then return to normality. From Chi Chin Chuan. Good afternoon, Ajahn. Today it is the first time I read Satipatthana Sutta. I only managed to read aloud half of it. I am amazed that you can memorize it and finish it in 40 minutes. It took me 40 minutes to read half, not even memorize it. Well, I might shorten some of the repetitive, because there are lots of repetitive verses, which you can contract it to. You don't. For me, I think that's how I did. Sometimes I skip the repetitiveness and get to the bottom of the message. But if you can want to memorize the whole thing, that's okay also. The purpose is to develop mindfulness and to understand the teaching of the Buddha. But in the sutta, sometimes there's a lot of repetition, which you don't have to repeat if you want to. From Dhamma, Pante, how can you stay calm when you meet interesting and unattractive things? You have to look at you first have to develop mindfulness. If you have strong mindfulness, then you can stay calm when you meet interesting or unattractive things. As soon as your mind starts to become agitated, then you can use mindfulness to stop it, like reciting a mantra. From AVSTHA, thank you, Ajahn, for being here and answering our repetitive questions. You're welcome. To me, they are all new questions to me because I forget most of what you said, what you asked me. Most of the time, I'm in the present. So whatever happened already gone from my mind. So every question is new to me. So don't worry. Even if you feel it's old question, if you still don't understand, you are welcome to ask to repeat the questions again. From Sweet Hand, greeting Ajahn. Can you please clarify wise attention that Buddha mentioned in the sutta? I use this phrase while in my meditation to bring back my meditation object. Is that okay? Wise attention. I cannot think of the Pali word. Pali wisdom and mindfulness, I think. This two goes together. Before you can be wise, you have to be mindful first. You have to be attentive first. Then you can be wise by looking at things as being anicca, dukkha, anatta. Maybe this is what he meant by wise attention. When you look at something, focus on something, don't become attached to them. Don't react. Just be aware, be aware. Be aware that they are anicca, anatta. If you react to them with emotion, you will have dukkha. So maybe this is what he means, just to have better attention, not to react to what you see, what you come across. From Sean Kerr, Dear Ajahn, is the line nimitta necessary for jhana, or can it still be first jhana when there is strong piti and sukha, but no line nimitta? You can have nimitta or you don't have nimitta. Some people do have nimitta and some people don't have nimitta. So it's not important. The goal is to get to the fourth jhana, where the mind becomes concentrated, calm, peaceful, happy, and neutral. But before that, you might have things like piti, sukha, or nimitta. You should just disregard them, ignore them, and keep focusing on your meditation object. Because the goal is to get to the fourth jhana, where there is nothing left except equanimity and happiness from equanimity. From Gek Yen So, good afternoon, Ajahn. Can I take soybean milk drink after removing the residue during 8 precept evening at home? It depends on how strict you want to be. See, in Thailand, some monasteries allow you to drink soybean milk, soybean drink. Some monasteries don't allow. So it's up to you to choose how strict you want to be. The less you deal with things, the better. If you can entirely stop drinking everything except water, I think that's the best practice if you can do it, because that's what the body really needs. It's just the water, not the stuff that goes in the water. So this is the ideal way of taking the 8 precept. After the midday, don't take anything except don't take any other type of liquid except water, pure water, because that's all you need. And that solve a lot of problems. You don't have to worry about where to put your drinks, where to get it, and so forth. You just have water, because that's all the body needs is water. From Joshua like Ajahn, how does one let go of his or her ego? First, you have to treat yourself like dirt. The Buddha says, treat yourself like dirt. Think of yourself like dirt, like the earth. You're the lowest thing on this earth, so that anybody can humiliate you, can do anything to you. They have the right to treat you like that. This is one way to suppress your ego, and then keep reminding you this as you move around in your life. Just tell yourself, I'm a servant, I'm a slave. Everybody else, I'm my master. So they can do anything, they can treat me any way they like. I will always act as a slave or act as a servant. From Paul Vincent, Satu, Satu, Satu. From Trendy Wu, thank you, Ajahn. From Dhamma Sharing, Andami Ajahn. Ajahn, in 8 precepts, we have to avoid listening to music, entertainment. Does it mean that people who have profession as singer and dancer won't be able to practice 8 precepts? Yes, they have to stop if they keep the 8 precepts. But if they still have to make a living from the profession, then they can only keep the 8 precepts on their day off when they don't have to work. Does it mean it is impossible for a dancer or singer to practice 8 precepts, as music is a thing that they need to deal with every single day? Please advise how singer dancers should engage Buddhism practice in daily life. Thank you so much for the advanced advice, Ajahn. If you cannot keep the 8 precepts, you can at least keep the 5 precepts, and you can still meditate. But you won't have enough time to meditate more. That's all. The 8 precepts is for those people who want to practice all day long. You have to do this on your day off. If you're a singer or a dancer, on your day off, you don't have to sing or dance. Then you can keep the 8 precepts and then practice meditation the whole day. But if you're not practicing meditation the whole day, then you don't need to keep the 8 precepts. Just keep the 5 precepts. If you only practice meditation an hour or 2 a day, then 8 precept is not necessary for you. 8 precepts are for those who want to practice all day long and all night long. So if you haven't got to that stage yet, then you don't have to worry about keeping the 8 precepts. From Eduardo Polka, Ajahn, how can I start the practice of walking meditation? Do I need to be alone? Not necessarily. You can be with anybody, but when you walk, you just have to concentrate on your walking and disregard, ignore everything around you. You can do walking meditation when you go to work, when you walk to work, when you walk, wherever you are when you walk. If you just keep focused on your walking and not on other things, you are doing walking meditation already. But of course, it will be ideal if you can practice alone, because then there will be no distraction. There will be nothing to distract you from your concentration on your walking. But if you cannot be alone, you can still do walking meditation. As soon as you start walking, just keep focused on your walking, not on other things. From Chi Chin Chuan, Ajahn, after reading the Satipatthana Sutta halfway, I start to understand your teaching on mindfulness, awareness of the body and feeling. Thank you. This is what you need to do. You need to study first before do any practice. The teaching of the Buddha is very clear and precise and very enlightening. So don't skip studying the teaching of the Buddha because it's very important. Then you will know the right way to practice. Then when you study with other people or hear other people talk about practice, then you will know whether they know what they are doing, whether they know what they're talking about or not. Eduardo Polka, thank you, Sadhu, Sadhu. Dean Swan, can hear you okay, Ajahn. May you be well and live long life. Thank you. No one can predict how long one's going to live. So just be happy with what you have and be ready to go anytime. Then there will be no dukkha while you're living or while you're going away. Don't attach to life because life doesn't belong to us. Life belongs to the law of nature. Nature can take your life away anytime. So be ready to give it up anytime. Then you will live a happy life. It's better to live a short and happy life rather than live a long and suffering life, worrying life. So once you give up your attachment to life, then you will live a happy life to the last day. From Joe Schulite, Ajahn, when a person realizes that he has said something wrong, then he apologizes, but later he repeats it again. So what should he do to avoid it? Even he reminds himself to be more mindful. It's his karma. If you do something repeatedly wrong, or if you repeatedly do something wrong all the time, then it means you don't have strong enough mindfulness to prevent you from doing it. So you have to develop more mindfulness. And it will be useless to apologize to people when you keep repeating the same mistake, same action again, because they will not trust what you say. So it's better to be mindful and try not to repeat the same mistake again. One way to prevent you from repeating the same mistake is to punish yourself. Every time you do something wrong, give some money away to charity. So maybe this will then force you to be more mindful, because every time you do something bad, then you say, I have to do some charity, give some money to charity. So when you have to lose money, then it might make you more careful the next time. From Dhamma, Bhante, how can you meditate for a long time and can delete feeling point? You have to be mindful when you meditate. If you're mindful and focus on your meditation object, then you will not be thinking. And when you're not thinking, your feeling of boredom will disappear. Your mind will be empty, calm, and peaceful, and happy. So have to be mindful when you meditate. You have to use a mantra, or you have to keep watching your breath, or reciting the 32 parts of the body. Don't let your mind think. Don't let your mind be without mindfulness. Because as soon as you have no mindfulness, your mind will start to think, and then it will make you feel boring again. From Yu Qian Go, Ajahn, how to stop our desire for greed, hatred, and ignorance. You have to look at the object of your desire, greed, and hatred as being anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca is impermanent, changing all the time. Anatta, you cannot control them. You cannot force them to give you happiness. Sometimes instead of giving you happiness, it can give you suffering or sadness. If you see anicca, dukkha, anatta in the objects of your greed, hatred, and delusion, then you will stop them. From the Viti, Namasakara Ajahn. I hope you can still hear me because right now we're having rain and the noise around that you hear is the sound of the rain. We are still under the influence of the tropical storm. It's been cloudy and raining all day off and on. So I hope you can still hear me. Please let me know if the sound is still okay. From Tane Poi In. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. From Radhapon Sasi. Sadhu, sadhu. From Alvin Lee Wiping. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. From Dylan Always. But Pante, according to dependent origination, Vijnana causes origin of Nama Rupa, which includes four elements and vice versa. No, this is not, Vijnana doesn't cause the origin of Nama Rupa. Vijnana just connects the mind to the Nama Rupa, that's all. Vijnana is the connector. It doesn't create nor destroy anything. With Vijnana, that's how the mind can connect to the body. The mind in the stream of consciousness we call Vijnana toward the five sensual organs. Then when it's connected to the five sensual organs, it can receive the five sensual objects. So when someone gets rid of craving, ignorance, to break the chain of independent origination, this Narupa, Vijnana, will also be gone. No, you just get rid of your craving. Everything else remains the same. You can still see and hear things, but you have no craving towards them. Yes, everything is impermanent. Everything is it keeps changing. But impermanent doesn't mean they disappear permanently. They just keep changing. The word anicca could mean change. It could mean rising and ceasing, appearing and disappearing. From George Ulai, Sadhu, Sadhu. From Kenny Lee, dear John. Sometimes after meditation sitting, I feel very tired. Is this normal? Yes. After you sit for a long time, you can feel tired. And you want to sleep or you want to get up and do some stretching by walking or something. Dear Swan, Dean Swan, Ajahn, I have a current practice question. While being aware of doing good karma, the awareness that the bad karma is still continuously going on at the background due to understand of the veil of ignorance. Is it better to focus just on doing the good karma, or turn the focus to remove the ignorance that creates bad karma? Just focus on what you do. And if you're doing good karma, just keep doing it. If you're doing bad karma, then you should stop it. But ideally, it's better to stop all karma by doing meditation. When you meditate, your mind becomes calm and still. Then you stop doing all karma, good or bad karma. So the ideally is to stop doing karma. But if you have to do any karma, do the good karma. Don't do the bad karma. That's the teaching of the Buddha. Avoid doing bad karma, do good karma, and stop your mind from doing karma at all by purifying the mind. From Eduardo Polka, I'm glad to be here and now hearing you very useful advices. Thanks. How can I deal with bad feelings or anger when they come suddenly? You can either accept it. If you don't want to accept it, then you should focus your mind on a mantra and ignore the bad feelings. You can do either way. If you look at bad feeling as part of the feelings that you will have to face in your life, look at the bad feelings like you're looking at the storm or the snow and learn to live with it. But not reacting to your bad feelings, just being aware of the bad feelings. If your mind can remain neutral, have equanimity, then the bad feeling will not hurt you. But if you cannot remain calm and neutral, then you should use a mantra such as Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto when you come face to face with bad feelings. Mio on meditation, still hear you well, Pa. Thank you. Can you hear the noise, the background noise of the noise of the rain? Sweet Tan, I can still hear you. Thank you for answering my question. Chin Li Ching, sound is clear. Thank you. Emilio, yes, Piano. Thank you for compassionately sharing your wisdom. I will share this video also. Thank you. I'm happy if my talk to you give you some knowledge and practical advice on how to deal with your feeling, your emotion. From Nirosha, there are some background noises, but we still can hear you well, Ajahn. Thank you. From Kim Ed Shore, good reception and great Dhamma guidance from Ajahn. Thank you. From Pauline Soon, at that moment people die. Shall we keep on chanting, can peace the soul? No, no. You cannot do anything for the dead. The person who died has to deal with himself. He has to build good karma. Then when he dies, he will be peaceful and happy. So the Buddha said, do good karma now. So at the time of death, you will find peace and happiness. From any love, Dhatu. From falling soon. Once people die before 49 days, is it the soul death? People will come back to face dying? No, once they go, they go. But sometimes they can come back if they have strong attachment to people or place that they left behind. Sometimes they might still be wandering around that place. And someone might even take rebirth, but in an animal form. Not as a human form, because to be born as human takes a long time. Sometimes some people like a story, there's a story of a monk who is attached to his robe. So when he dies, he come back and be born as an insect, so he could be stay near his robe. The Buddha said, tell the monk not to touch the robe because the owner still is attached to the robe. But after the insect died, then the Buddha said the owner has departed. And the monks who need to use the robe can pick up and use the robe. From Om Apprentice, can still hear Long Paul clearly. The rain is just a small background noise. Thank you. Meal on meditation. Yes, Sanajan, I hear your background noise of heavy raining, same as my place. From Tek Yen So, Tanajan, what is the better way to teach or explain to Sunday Dhamma school students about it so that they mentally prepare for it? Just tell them it's going to a long sleep, going to change a new body. It's like a body transplant. When you die, your mind go from the old body and go take a new body and then on a new birth. That's what it is. It's just going to sleep or going under transplanting the new body. So you have to be put to sleep, and then when you wake up, you will get a new body. From Sutapat BNK, Nam Satu Chaka. From Kwan Ten, please explain in details about the Four Noble Truths. Satu. The Four Noble Truths are the truths that exist in our mind. But most of the time, it's only the first two noble truths that exist in our mind, which is dukkha or stress, and the cause of dukkha, which are our cravings or desire. The third and fourth truth seldomly happens to us because we haven't yet developed the fourth truth, which is magga, the path to the cessation of dukkha or suffering, which is the third truth. So most of the time we are experiencing the first truth, which is stress. When we feel uncomfortable, when we feel sad or anxious, this is dukkha, the first noble truth. And they are caused by our craving for something or desiring for something. When we cannot get what we want, then we get stress or sadness or anxiety or restlessness or agitation. So if you can develop the fourth truth, which is the magga, the path to the cessation of suffering, you have to develop dana, sila, samadhi, and panya. Once you have sila, dana, sila, samadhi, panya, then you can stop your craving and your desire. When you stop your craving, your desire, then the third noble truth will appear, which is the cessation of dukkha, the disappearance of stress, anxiety, agitation, restlessness, and sadness. From Emilio Giustiano, people who commit bad karma, are they still reincarnated as animals? Yes, if you do bad karma, you will have to be reincarnated in the four realms, the four types of existence, which is undesirable because they are full of suffering. Either as an animal or as a spiritual being, you will become a hungry ghost, a fearful ghost, or you will be existing in hell, which is full of suffering. These are the four places that a spiritual being will exist if it does bad karma. From any lump, someone tried to sell me sheep's placenta, claiming it to be the fountain of youth. But I want to tell him that that's not human food, right? Yes, you should not eat other people's life, But if the meat that they sell is already dead, then you have nothing to do with the killing. Then if you want to eat, you can eat. And eating food is to prolong your life. That's all. You need to eat food to keep your body going, but don't kill to eat. Don't kill something so that you can eat that something, because that would be considered bad karma. But if you buy meat that is already dead and is so on in the market, then you have nothing to do with the killing. That's okay. Well, 54 minutes gone by very quickly. I hardly have a chance to take a break. So we still have about 6 minutes left to send in more questions if you like. Let me take a drink. Here's another question from assistant.ajansuchat@gmail.com from NG Kusalo. I read Anguttara Nikaya, which stated that after a worldly being attains jhana and then loses it, it will be reborn in the celestial realm and subsequently we go to hell and animal realm, except for the Blessed One's disciple, which will be able to attain Nibbana. Could Ajahn enlighten me on this sutta? Well, basically, if you attain jhana, this cannot prevent you from uh, returning to the lower realm of existence, because you might still have some bad karma left in your mind. So when your jhana expire, then maybe this karma will take effect. This bad karma will take effect. Then this bad karma will put you to be reborn in the realm of hell or animal. But with the noble disciples, they have the wisdom to see that doing bad karma will cause them to be reborn in the bad realms of existence. So they will never repeat or do any bad karma anymore, and they will be willing to die to pay for the bad karma if they have to. So they will not be reborn in the lower realms of existence anymore. From Dylan Always, Sadhu Sadhu Pante. From what I understand from the Buddhist teaching, there are three phases of citta, as Uttapada, Titi, Panka, meaning birth, existence, and death. That happens in the shortest period of time, citta. Doesn't this mean citta is subjected to birth and death every time? Citta is changing every time. The citta can change from one state to another, from being depressed to being happy, or from being happy to become sad. So this is considered to be rebirth of the citta all the time. The changing of the citta is considered to be rebirth. The citta today might be happy, and then later on in the afternoon it can become sad again, and then it can become happy again at night. So this is what we call rebirth, birth, existence, and death of the citta. But the citta never disappears. The citta will always exist regardless of what happens. It just keeps changing from one state to the next, from a happy state to a sad state, from a calm state to a restless state. This is the way how the citta evolves. From Dean Swan, thank you, Ajahn, for your advice on the practice to focus on here and now, and deal with good or bad karma at this moment. I am beginning to be more and more aware of the ignorance that is hidden. It was a glimpse during concentrated sitting meditation. I will keep practicing. Thank you, Ajahn, very much. You are welcome, Dean. From Chi Chin Chuan Ajahn, the Satipatthana Sutta, English translation, I am reading is edited by student of Luang Por Cham Dien. Is it okay? I haven't read it myself, but I think it's probably okay. If you don't know, then you should compare with some of the translation. The Buddhist Publication Society has the translation of the Satipatthana Sutta. If you go to the website called Access to Insight, you might also find some translation there. So it's good to maybe compare them and find the one you find suitable for you. I think most of them are okay. From Mudita Yong, Bante Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, we are reaching the 1 minute mark right now. So please, if you haven't started typing your question, please don't do it. Wait until the next session. If you are still typing the question, please continue and type and then submit them, because this will be all the time I will have for you for today. From Czech Link 10, dear Tanajan, thank you so much again for your precious Dhamma gift, the best gift ever. With much gratitude, love, and respect from Vancouver. From Mudita Yong, thank you. From Huat Maxley, thank you, Ajahn. May you be well and happy, free from physical and mental suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Mudita Yong, Bante, give great Dharma sharing. Thanks. You're welcome. Mudita Yong, okay. Visakali, Ajahn. Normally I can meditate for an hour. Lately, since MCO period, it seems I cannot meditate for long. Feel I am too exposed to media. Can Ajahn advise? Well, you should try to restrain your senses. Try to stop connecting with the media, social media. Bring it down to a minimum. Bring it down to just the essential. Because when you are involved with news or things, your mind keeps thinking about it. So when you meditate, you find it difficult to do. So the Buddha said you have to restrain your senses. From Kwantan, thank you, Ajahn. And also like to ask for forgiveness should have done anything wrong. Please forgive me. Thanks again. You're welcome. From Margaret Tan, Satu, Satu. From Kwan Patum Napa, thank you so much, Pa Ajahn. Don't see you a few days now. What happened to you? Are you okay? From Dylan Alvis. So in the perspective of Chitta, isn't it the same thing that happens when we die? Yes, the Chitta doesn't die with the body. The Chitta continues to evolve according to the good or bad karma that it has performed. Once the body dies, then the good or bad karma will take over the control of the Chitta. From Yu Xian Go, Sadhu, Sadhu. From Annie Lam, thank you. From Lin Lim, wonderful, love listening to you. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for your input, for your participation. I'm glad to be here with you today and answer your questions. And I hope that I'll be able to do it again in the future. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay happy and mindful. Thank you and goodbye.